be great for Raw this week. And that is your Raw review, ladies and gentlemen. Very good SmackDown, very good Raw. I really enjoyed it this week. This was a fun Monday Night Raw. And a fun SmackDown. It's a hell of a week to be a wrestling fan, ladies and gentlemen. Hell of a week. And now, we move on to your 1994 Royal Rumble review. A Royal Rumble which will live in infamy. It's only the second Royal Rumble where if the person wins, they get a shot at the WWE Championship, back then the WWF Championship, at WrestleMania. So, the show would kick off in a dark match between the Brooklyn Brawler and Jim Powers. Two really, in my mind, enhancement talents. I wouldn't say enhancement, I'll say jobbers. Even though the Brooklyn Brawler has had a good career, not great, I would definitely say they're not huge guys that are going to pack out a show. But they would have a singles dark match where the Brooklyn Brawler would win. There is no time recorded for the match, according to Wikipedia. But it would be a good match. After this, we would get to kick off the full pay-per-view to Tonka versus Bam Bam Bigelow. This was during Tatanka's undefeated streak. He would have it going into WrestleMania against Shawn Michaels for the Intercontinental Championship, and would have it even going into Monday Night Raw. So, Tatanka would pick up the win over Bam Bam Bigelow in an 8-minute match. There would be a bear hug. There would be everything that you would look for in a Bam Bam Bigelow match. High-flying action. Tatanka would pick up the win. Tatanka stays undefeated. After this, we get the Quebecers versus Bret Hart and Owen Hart, the Hart Dynasty, in a tag team match for the WWE Tag Team Championships. This would be the beginning of the end for Bret Hart and Owen Hart. It would really kind of start cementing Owen Hart's turn that he is the better Hart brother. After Owen Hart would take the pin, it would cause Bret Hart would be hurt. He would have a knee injury. This would really cement their match at WrestleMania 10 to open the show. The Quebecers would win this match, but still a very great match. It's hard for Bret Hart and Owen Hart to not have a great match. After this, we got Razor Ramon versus Irwin R. Scheister for the WWF Intercontinental Championship match. It feels like everything here was more of the build to WrestleMania 10, because all the champions would hold on to their titles going into WrestleMania 10. Irwin R. Scheister would lose to Razor Ramon, and this would lead to the ladder match between him and Shawn Michaels, the ladder match that would change the world. And I will go into that in my WrestleMania 10 review for WrestleMania season. Razor Ramon would pick up the win in an okay match versus Irwin R. Scheister. It would be an 11-minute, 30-second match. By the way, this pay-per-view would come from Providence, Rhode Island, with an attendance of 14,500 people and a buy rate of 200,000. After this, we would get a casket match for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Yokozuna versus The Undertaker. This would lead to The Undertaker being written off television. They would have a great match, a great casket match. Undertaker versus Yokozuna had in-ring chemistry beyond belief. Behind the scenes, they were best of friends. Yokozuna was a member of the Bone Street crew, which was The Undertaker's crew backstage. Undertaker loved working with Yokozuna, but this would lead to him being written off television until after WrestleMania, actually until SummerSlam, where the $1 Million Man would start his feud with The Undertaker, leading all the way to next year's SummerSlam of The Undertaker's feud with the $1 Million Corporation. The Undertaker would be put in the casket by a bunch of heels. The heels would then nail the coffin shut, lock it, and The Undertaker would appear on the screen and would say, "I cannot rest in peace." And he would disappear for months on end until he would return at SummerSlam to face a fake Undertaker. So this was storytelling at its best at the Royal Rumble, with Yokozuna retaining the title versus The Undertaker. It would lead to another casket match down the line, I believe at Survivor Series, after Yokozuna would lose the title at WrestleMania 10. And then we get the 30-man Royal Rumble. Again, only the second Royal Rumble, where if you win, you are awarded a title shot at WrestleMania. So, this was a big one. They needed to make it huge. So what do? They fuck it up. 30 men enter. 2 men win. It's supposed to be 1 man wins the Royal Rumble. We'll go on for 59 minutes. Bret Hart would enter at number 27 after suffering a knee injury earlier on in the night, and the knee injury being even hampered more by his brother Owen Hart. Bret Hart and Lex Luger would become the last 2 left standing. And they both go over the top rope at the same time. Feet hit the ground. It was clear that Bret's feet hit first, really, in my opinion. Bret Hart and Lex Luger are declared co-Royal Rumble champions. This would lead to both of them getting a shot at Yokozuna at WrestleMania 10. They would both have to compete in 2 matches. Lex Luger would get his first shot at Yokozuna, while Bret Hart would have to face his brother later on. So whoever would win would have 2 matches to face Bret Hart in the main event. Bret Hart would have to face his brother Owen, and whoever won the Yokozuna Lex Luger match would face Bret Hart in the main event. It's an okay pay-per-view. It's one that lives in infamy because of the finish. The finish was terrible. It was a stupid idea for a finish. It was clear WWE wanted to push Lex Luger, but the crowd wasn't behind him. He wasn't behind the push. And it would lead to Bret Hart becoming the man in WWE while he was in WWE. So, big shout out to them for that match. But still not a good one. Not a good Royal Rumble. I would give it a C+ grade. C+. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for your WWE Drink of the Week. This Drink of the Week is a very nice one. I'm just going to do a actual just liqueur for this drink, because it is a drink that I really like. It is a simple Screwball on the rocks. Screwball is a peanut butter whiskey. I never thought I'd say that, but what reminds me of is a kind of a vanilla and peanut butter swirl ice cream. That's the best way to describe it. I really enjoy this drink, just on the rocks, simple drink, but very flavorful, very nice, and one that you can enjoy any time of the year, whether it's summer, it'll cool you down, or winter, it can heat you up. It is a perfect drink. By the way, do not drink if you are under 21, and do not drink and drive. Drink responsibly, ladies and gentlemen. And now a reading from the Book of Rules. Footwear. Regulation wrestling boots are only styled or footwear that is permissible for the ring. A reading from the Book of Rules. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for everybody's favorite segment, really the first one of the year, the Battle Droid of the Week. And I put a lot of thought into this. I was trying to think who's going to be a Battle Droid of the Week, because I wanted to give it to Nick Khan originally for releasing William Regal, Samoa Joe, and Road Dogg. But I can't, because of the breaking down the Forbidden Door. That's it's been credited to Nick Khan. So, who do I give it to? I'm going to give it to Alexa Bliss for that terrible segment. Man, I love Alexa Bliss. I love her as the heel gimmick. I love her as the Fiend gimmick. But there's still a lot to be desired from that segment. So, Alexa Bliss, for the first time ever, congratulations. You are the Battle Droid of the Week. Hopefully you don't get this again, because I really do love your gimmick.
Uh-oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening. I've been the big guy on the road to WrestleMania, Royal Rumble. I'm very excited. Have a great week in wrestling.